Before we dive in, do me a quick favor and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Okay, so Amazon just dropped a brand new Kindle Scribe. It's got AI, which is cool, but it's also got a price tag of over $600. This brings up a huge question we're going to tackle in this explainer. Is this thing a revolutionary new tool, or is it just a ridiculously overpriced, unnecessary luxury? Let's break it down.
First things first, just let that number sink in for a second. $630. And get this, that's the starting price. For a device that's supposed to be for what? Reading books and jotting down a few notes? I mean, you could buy a new gaming console for that. You could get a pretty nice iPad for that. So what on earth could possibly justify this kind of price tag? And look, it's not just us raising our eyebrows here. The experts over at TechCrunch have already weighed in, calling this thing, and I'm quoting them, an unnecessary luxury for most. Ouch, that is a pretty brutal verdict. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dig in, see what you're actually getting for all that cash, and figure out if that verdict really holds up. All right, let's dive into the good stuff. To even begin to understand that crazy price, you have to get what Amazon is trying to sell you. And trust me, it's not just another tablet. They are selling a dream, the dream of perfect digital paper. And you know what? On paper, no pun intended, the hardware is actually seriously impressive. We're talking about a massive 11-inch color e-ink screen that's completely glare-free and has this texture that actually feels like you're writing on a real notepad. It is ridiculously thin and light. We're talking thinner than your iPhone and lighter than an iPad mini. It's wild. Page turns are 40% faster, and the battery life, get ready for this, up to 8 weeks. Yeah, go ahead, try getting that on an iPad. And that brings us to the pen itself. This is where you really see the different philosophies clashing, especially when you put it up against Apple. The Apple Pencil is all about digital precision, right? It's for artists and designers. The Kindle pen, though, is chasing a totally different vibe. It's all about that analog, old-school feel. It just glides across that screen, and you're going to love this. It never needs to be charged, ever. Now, there is a trade-off. It's a little smoother, maybe not as grippy, and the tips do wear down, so you'll have to replace them every now and then. Okay, so the hardware is slick, but honestly, that's only half the story. The real justification for that $630 price tag, the secret sauce that Amazon is betting the entire farm on, is the new AI Supercharge. This is what's supposed to take this thing from a simple e-reader to a truly smart notebook. Which leads us to the million-dollar question, or I guess the $630 question. We hear the term AI thrown around for absolutely everything these days, but what does it actually do on the Kindle Scribe? Like for real, what problem is this AI actually solving for you? And this right here is probably the single most practical feature. It's basically like having a little magic assistant living inside your notebook. So picture this. You're in a meeting or class, just scribbling down messy, chaotic thoughts. We've all been there. Then you just tap this little sparkle icon at the top. One tap. And bam! Instantly, the AI either refines your terrible handwriting into clean, readable text, or, and this is the wild part, it can summarize the entire page of notes for you. It's pretty nuts. And that's just scratching the surface. The full AI toolkit is stocked. It can straighten out your wobbly highlights, summarize key points, and even let you search across all of your different notebooks just by asking a question. And Amazon's not stopping there. They're promising an Ask This Book feature for spoiler-free plot questions and a Story So Far feature to catch you up if you haven't read in a while. For students or researchers, this could be an absolute game changer. Okay, the dream is compelling, the AI sounds powerful, I get it. But now it's time for a reality check. Let's pull back the curtain a little, because for all its futuristic features, this device is still built on e-ink technology, and that comes with some very real-world compromises you need to know about. So here's the most important thing to get. This is not an iPad screen. Not even close. TechCrunch described the colors as somewhat muted, which is a polite way of saying they're a little washed out. You're going to notice a little bit of lag on gestures like pinch to zoom that you just don't get on a smooth OLED screen. And yep, you might see a faint ghost of whatever you just erased. For some people, those little imperfections are going to drive them absolutely crazy. So let's look at the showdown. Where does the Scribe actually fit in this crowded market? Well, you've got the iPad, which is the do-everything machine, right? Apps, games, movies, the whole shebang. Then you have the Remarkable, which is the complete opposite. It's for pure, distraction-free writing and nothing else. The Kindle Scribe is trying to carve out a niche right in between them. It's for people who live and breathe books and documents. But here's its Achilles heel. You are locked into the Kindle store. There is no real app ecosystem. So that brings us to the final verdict. We've seen the dream and we've seen the reality. But the thing is, the answer to is it worth it isn't a simple yes or no. The real question, the one you need to be asking yourself is it worth it for you?
Let's make this super simple. This is almost certainly an unnecessary luxury if you're looking for a device for Netflix, games, and just browsing the web. If you're a casual reader who gets through maybe a couple of books a year, or if you're looking for a serious tool for digital art, this is definitely not the device for you. A basic Kindle or an iPad would serve you so much better for a lot less money.
But, and this is a really big but, this device could actually be a necessary tool if you fall into a very specific category. If you're a student, a lawyer, a researcher, or really anyone who spends their days highlighting and marking up dense documents, this could genuinely change your entire workflow. And if you want a digital journal that feels like real paper and keeps you away from the endless distractions of the internet, the Scribe suddenly makes a very, very powerful case for itself. So at the end of the day, the Kindle Scribe isn't trying to be an iPad. It's not a do-everything device. It's a specialist. And that forces us to ask a bigger question about our technology. Does a perfect digital notebook need to do a million things pretty well? Or is there real power in a device that does just one thing, but does it absolutely perfectly? It's a question we're thinking about. Let me know what you think in the comments below.